YouTube? This is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Wednesday evening, December 27th. You think I would remember that it's like 2 days after Christmas, but I can't. I hope everybody is doing well. Hope you had a fantastic Christmas. A little video du jour RPG. I want to go way back, not too far way back, but way back. And I want to talk about a game that, in my opinion, doesn't get enough love. And talk about some pros and cons and things that I think hurt the game and things that help the game. It's kind of its strengths and weaknesses, and just a game that I actually love and I think needs more attention. And that is GURPS Dungeon or GURPS 4th Edition. This is the Kickstarter reward. Or what came out as they did a Kickstarter of this. I did not back the Kickstarter. I bought this at the source down in Minneapolis with my own hard-earned cash. Thanks to my Patreons for helping to support me. As always, shameless plug. Support me on Patreon, $5 a month. Get you a unique identifier on Discord and get you into any games I run online. And or you can buy this stuff off of, I don't think GURPS is, somebody can correct me down in the doobly-doo. I'm not sure if GURPS is on Drive-Thru RPG or not. I know they have their Warehouse 23, which is their own warehouse basically of what they sell online and stuff. But I think it's on GURPS, or it's on GURPS. Of course, it's on GURPS. I think it's on Drive-Thru RPG. I should check that. I can't remember. I think it is. If it is, use my affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anything, and it puts a couple pennies in my bank account, which helps me buy new games. So anyway, join the Discord and like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Put a comment down below, please. It really helps the algorithm. Even if you just say, "Hey, I was here," or whatever, or "I don't like this," or "I like this," just something simple. It really helps the algorithm. My videos have been getting a lot of reviews, a lot of views lately, so thank you all for watching and commenting. It really helps the channel. You'll be amazed how the algorithm just climbs the charts, and what it does is put these videos in front of more people so that more people can learn about games like GURPS 4th Edition. So this is Dungeon Fantasy. This was a standalone box set, and I honestly think this was really smart. GURPS has been around for many, many years. I had all the 3rd edition PDFs. I did not like the physical books. I didn't like the PDFs, to be honest, either. But I did like GURPS. I liked the mechanics, and as a shock as this may be to some of my meanies, this is a D6 system that I really like. You roll 3d6. Sometimes you roll more for damage. You might get extra dice for damage, but you can play the game with just 3d6. And this comes with 3d6 inside of here. This is a complete game all in this one box, and it is a hefty tome. Let me tell you, I don't see the retail price on here unless I can figure it out. No, this is 1st edition, first printing, October 2017. Now that's nice that they put that on here. This comes with standees. There's plenty of unboxings. I don't really want to go through what's all in the box, but I think you kind of have to. You get some GURPS with the Illuminati symbol on them, if you can see that there. So you get 3d6, you get some standees. It comes with some really nice paper maps, and then everything you need to play the game. There's a bunch of handouts in here for a pre-done adventure that's in here. And of course you get the books that you need. You get basically character creation, and you get a GM book, and you get an adventure book. So everything you need to play, as I almost dropped the box. Like I said, this box is heavy. You get everything you need to play in here. Standees, paper miniatures, they're cardboard stock. The dice, the paper mats that you can use to play. You could put a sheet of acetate or just some lucite or plexiglass over it, and you could write on it if you wanted. Or laminate them if you have that gumption at a UPS or a Kinko store, if those still exist, or a FedEx store. But anyway, the point is, for whatever the current price of this is, you get everything you need. So who is this for? This is for people who have never played GURPS, or maybe own 1 or 2 source books but don't own all the books, or don't own the core books that you would need to run Dungeon Fantasy or GURPS Fantasy. It's just called Dungeon Fantasy. That's the name of this box. It is to separate it from the rest of the line. But this is a complete game system. This is all the GURPS rules for everything regarding fantasy, your magic, I think there's even psychic powers in here that you can construe as magic. Um, it's a great little box set, and I bought it just because I wanted something quick and easy with some pre-gens in it. That if my local gaming group ever gets the urge to try something different, we could play GURPS, because I think this is a fantastic game, and I'm going to tell you why. But who is this not for? This is not for anyone who owns these three books. If you own the basic set fantasy, uh, basic set characters, and basic set campaigns, and there's one other book, and it's on the shelf, I didn't grab it, Magic. If you own those four books, you don't need that box set. Everything is in here. So if you own these core books, you do not need Dungeon Fantasy unless you just want a more compact version of all of these, and you don't have to lug around all of these books, which could be a good or a bad thing depending on your point of view. I'm seeing I got some paper in here, some bookmark I used. Like I said, I use my GURPS books every once in a while, and I lovingly go through them and flip through them because I loved the layout of GURPS in their fourth edition. The books were done really well. The art was very unique in it. The books were done very well. I mean, these are since, what year are these? January 2005, fourth edition, second printing. 2005. So these are almost 19 years old. Yeah, January 2005. We're going on 24. So these are almost 24 years old. 20. These have been around a while, and they're in great shape. I mean, look, they've held up the test of time. I've owned these since they were new. When these came out, I bought them because, like I said, I was not a fan of third edition. It just didn't. I didn't like the layout of the book. I didn't like the sidebars and the condensed page. And a lot of the material that's in here is still the same as third edition. So if you already own third edition, I believe on stevejackson.com there is an update article that you can use to update your third edition rules to fourth edition. There's some errata and stuff and things that they point out. But talk about a great game that's simple, but it has depth. This is one of those games that players often that don't know anything about GURPS will look at this and their brain will just cloud over. There's so many choices when you make a character, and it can be daunting. It can be, oh my God, I don't want a book for this and a book for that, and da da da. And the nice part is you don't have to. If you're just a player, all you need is this. Everything you need is in here. If you want to add magic because you're going to play a spellcaster in a fantasy game, then you pick up the fantasy version, or you pick up the PDF so you don't have so much to carry around. You can get away with just carrying this. And of course, all of their books are available in PDF. So if you don't want the physical books to lug to a game, like I live in northern Minnesota where average yearly snowfall is pretty horrendous. We've been lucky this year. We haven't had much snow. We haven't had hardly any snow, none that's stuck on the ground anyway. So for right now, it's not that big of a deal. But if you travel to somebody's house and you got to lug a bunch of books, and it's rainy and snowy or whatever, it can be a pain in the ass. And I don't blame you if you don't want to lug books. You just want to bring your tablet or your laptop and then read your PDFs. But they do make some software. It is Windows compatible. I don't believe it's Mac compatible, which sadly really sucks, but I wish it was. And if you already own the third edition software, there is an update that will upgrade it to fourth edition. And I think it's a nominal fee. I think the actual character creation software is $20 if you can even still buy it. I know I saw it on Warehouse 23. I don't know if it's really been updated or not. Because there's really nothing to do. I don't know how many new books have come out for GURPS lately. They've been focusing a lot on some other games like Ogre, a miniature like tank game, and Car Wars has had a resurgence and stuff. So yeah, it's a game that I don't think gets enough attention. The character creation is very in depth. It's not complicated, but it is somewhat tedious. It's crunchy. It's a point buy system. You're going to get X number of points, so 150 points is like a low to low medium level character. 200 to 250 is a very competent mid-level character, and of course it goes up from there. 300 to 500, you've got a godlike character, or could be, depending on how you build them. And that's the thing. That's what makes this game really neat. You can build the character you want. There's a GURPS super setting. There's an interstellar setting. There's a transhuman setting. There's a dragons book. In fact, the GURPS Dragon was the first fourth edition book that came out, and I scooped it up, and it's a beautiful book. It's all about dragons, and how to use them in different settings and different powers and player characters and everything. It is a phenomenal book. It's probably one of my favorite RPG books of all time. It's really that well done. But what I really like about GURPS is, like I said, the customization. You want to play GURPS Super and you want to make Wolverine, you can make Wolverine if you have enough points. And if you want to make Cyclops, you can make the superhero you want. Now that comes at a cost of the crunch, but once you get past character creation, it is downhill from there, baby. It is super easy. And if you're, I hate to say this, but if you're lazy like me, I use the software. The software just is point and click. It's super easy to use. It is a bit dated because I think 2005 that software came out, maybe 2006. So obviously I don't think it's been really updated, to Windows 10 version or Windows 11. It came out during the XP genre, and it looks like it, but it does work. And if you can get past the crunchiness of character creation, and it's not even super crunchy, it's just there's so many options. But I think what a good GM does to help his players is limits the book. So if I was going to run GURPS Fantasy, I would limit it to characters and fantasy, and that would be it. Those would be the only two books allowed. And then everything else would be the GM's purview. What do I think? So that's what I like about the game. I like the flexibility. You can build any character you want, even with as little as 50 points. You can build a starting character that will do kind of what you want. You'll be very lacking in a lot of categories, but if you want to build yourself a tank who can take a hit, you can do that. You want to build a very nimble, dexterous character that's hard to hit, you can do that with 50 points. He's not going to be great at everything, obviously, because you're limited by the points. And as the old saying goes, there's never enough points. But the experience system is super easy. The gameplay is super. It's 3d6 and roll equal to or under your ability. It's not hard, or your skill. And then you can't have any skill higher than, I believe it's a 17, and 18 is always a failure. 3 is always a critical success. Or I think a 2 or a 3, because you can have positive modifiers, which would be negative, if I remember correctly. It's been a minute since I've played this, and I would love to run it again. It's a game that, like I said, I think deserves more attention than what it's getting. And I know there's a lot of grognards out there that like GURPS, but there's also a lot that hate it. And that's the thing in the gaming environment is no game is perfect. You can find flaws in every single one of them. But you can also find the diamond in the rough. And I think GURPS is one of those games that is a diamond in the rough if you get past character creation. Now, what are some of the things I don't like about GURPS? It's not much. Really, my only real pet peeve with GURPS is from a game master's point of view. You have to roll up all of your stats for your NPCs and your monsters, all your antagonists. You have to roll up their stats. There's no bestiary, or there's no thing that says, this monster's stats are ABC and then his abilities are XYZ. And what I mean by that is, let me see if I can find some monster stats. I don't remember which book they're in. I think these are all just, these are all skills, fantasy skills and magic. You have to basically roll up your monsters. You don't get anything, like monsters aren't pre-done. Well, oh yeah, here's a bestiary. So yeah, well, okay, I take that back. Like I said, it's been a minute since I looked at it. So here's a couple of monsters. Here is a satire. So these are some Greek mythology, or a megalogriffin, so it's just a giant triceratops. Strength is 50, Dex is 12, IQ is 2, Health is 16, will is 10, Perception is 12, Speed is 6, Dodge is 10, Move is 7. I mean, and it gives you a bunch of his traits. So pretty much I stand corrected. And it's, like I said, it's been a minute since I looked at this. They do have some pre-stats for monsters. You only have 4 stats in GURPS, which is also awesome, but also somewhat limiting for people that are coming from like D&D or Pathfinder, where you have 6 stats, or other games where you have 7 or more. You only have 4. You have Strength, Dex, IQ, and Health. And then everything else is figured off of that. So all your skills are going to fall into those 3 categories: Strength, Dex, IQ, or Health. Um, and and then your skill is going to be based on that, and you're going to roll equal to or less than, and you're going to try to get as low as you can get. But it's pretty simple. But the downside is the GM has to do a lot of work for monsters, and there's a lot of they because it's a point buy system and there's packages you buy. There's a lot of little things that you kind of, as a GM, have to be prepared. Now, I will say on the good side of that, what there is in the GURPS character assistant software, you can print, you can make up all your bad guys, your monsters. Let's just say a bunch of goblins, and it will list all of their advantages and disadvantages and tell you what they do and their skills, and it give you the numbers you need. And it prints it out in a very concise and streamlined manner. So, as long as you do your prep work as a GM, you're going to be able to run a very, hopefully, satisfying session, as long as your players are into it and everybody has a good time, which, again, is the point. If you can get everybody to sit down and try GURPS, I think everybody will have a good time. It's a straight-up fantasy game. Um, Third edition had a lot of setting books, that gave you generic settings, and resources. GURPS Fantasy is kind of, it doesn't give you a setting, it doesn't give you a world. If I remember correctly, there are setting books. I do not own the full line of all the hardbacks. I own several of them, but not all of them, just because I don't have a group that wants to play GURPS. Now, I currently have a group that we're playing the campaign of Dragonbane that comes in the box set from the Kickstarter, and they've all expressed that they kind of enjoy pretty crunchy fantasy games. So with that being the case, this may be the next game we play, because they've all expressed interest in character development and having more control over. And Dragonbane is a little limiting in the current set of rules. Now, I'm sure once the hardback book comes out, hopefully it will expand upon that and make it a little easier. But as it stands right now, the players have expressed some frustration with advancing their character. They don't feel that they're progressing. We're 4-5 sessions in, and they're still grinding away, trying to figure out. It's a learning curve, but it's not bad. But it's not as gratuitous as, say, like D&D or Pathfinder, where Pathfinder, every 1,000 points you level up. These guys, if we were playing Pathfinder, probably would have leveled up by twice by now, maybe at least once for sure. They'd have hit second level probably after the first or second session. But this is not Palladium. This is not D&D. This is a different system where you get experience points, and then you spend those to up your skills. Basically, you can up stats, but it gets expensive. And experience isn't doled out, in the hundreds of XPs. It's, in the 5 or 6 or 10, and then you build them up, and then you spend that XP, to increase a skill, and a skill will have a multiplier, and that's what you'll multiply your skill by, to figure out how much it costs to raise that skill to the next level. So it's pretty simple once you get into it. It's not terribly difficult, and I just think the game deserves a lot more attention than it's been getting. And so hopefully by making this video, maybe this will make you think, maybe I should give that GURPS a try. Maybe Mr. Mean, is onto something there. And if, you can download a free primer off of their website, off of stevejacksongames.com, or Warehouse 23. If you just Google Warehouse 23, I'm sure you'll find it. And you can download a free primer of GURPS 4th edition, and it will give you some sample characters and everything that you need the basics on the basic rules. It doesn't go too in depth to the rules, but it gives you the basics, and you can run a game with your friends just out of that primer. And give it a try. Let me know what you think. Put the comments down below in the doobly doo. If you already own GURPS, are you playing it? Are you enjoying it? Are you running a long-term campaign? Are you using it for one-shots? I think it's better for a long-term campaign because of the way character growth works, and upgrading your character and stuff. Really, you feel involved and invested in your character, more so than like certain other games. Like, I hate to say this, Dragonbane. I think Dragonbane, you're kind of a one-trick pony. You can buy other things, but it seems like they don't make it super easy. At least from what I've read so far, you have to complete that box set adventure to get a heroic ability, and the heroic abilities are pretty awesome. All of them are good. Even the starting ones that the players start with are pretty solid. And all my players made their own character, so they got to pick and choose what they were going to take and stuff. So everybody's got a character that they are invested in and they enjoy. We're all enjoying the game. We just, we want a little bit more. So I think GURPS might be the way to go. And I think that the players will enjoy it, especially once they get some experience and are able to up those skills and see a marked improvement in their abilities. Because a +1 in GURPS is huge. You know, you're on a 3d6 curve. You know, you've only got from 3 to 18. That's it. So starting with a skill of like 12 is pretty darn good. It'll be interesting to see how, if we go to this, I'm going to pitch this to the group and see if they enjoy it. I'm hoping that they will like it. And I think what I'll do is I'll start with this, because I think this is a little more accessible to the players. I think this is going to make more sense than, this. And the books are in here are softback. They're easy to pass around. I believe I have it as a PDF as well. I'm not sure. I know I have all of these books as a PDF. So either way, I can get my players the materials they need to help them make a character and get ready for the future sessions. I don't know how many more sessions we'll have of Dragonbane. They've already found, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but they've found 2 parts out of 4. I'll leave it at that. So they've got 2 more to go, and then technically the adventure could be over. I could railroad them into finding the last 2 and then kind of go to the big climax and complete the adventure. But they seem to be enjoying it, so I don't want to cut them short. There's I think 10 or 11 adventures in the adventure path. We've only done 2 of them so far, so we've got some wiggle room, and I'm going to feel the players out and kind of see where they're at. But I think this is what I'm going to pitch as the next game, to give them a little more depth and crunch and see if they like it. I think they're going to like it. It's a good game. I know it plays well. It's been a minute since I've played it, but I definitely want to run it again and get more familiar with the rules. It's been a while since I've played it. Brian Eiskoff, my good buddy Brian, ran this a couple of times, and we had a lot of fun with it. So I'm looking forward to introducing some new players there, because they've only ever played D&D. They made characters for Rifts, and then they've played Dragonbane. So their role-playing repertoire is very small. So they were all in shock when they came in here, because we play in this room. I put some tables up, and we have some roll-away chairs, and we play in this room. And they were just in awe of how many books of role-playing games and all the different kinds of role-playing games that I had. They were just literally in shock. And I mean, we're 5 sessions in, and they still come over and they just look at the bookshelves and go, wow. So yeah, there's I've got a lot of choices, but I think this is going to be a good alternative to Dragonbane, and I think they're going to like it. At least I hope they do. We'll see. I'll definitely do, if we do decide to go to GURPS, I'll do an after-action report like I did with Dragonbane, and then when we wrap up the Dragonbane campaign, I'm going to do an after-action video on wrapping up that campaign, and just get some feedback from the players, and then I'll come back here and post that data on YouTube to give everybody an idea, because Dragonbane may not be the game for you. It may be the exact game for you. I'm enjoying it from a GM point of view, but that's a very narrow field. I want my players to enjoy it, and I mean, the fact that they keep coming back and they're really enjoying it, they say. But I see their frustration when after the session we go through experience and they're like, that's all I get. I think GURPS will be a little bit better for them. They'll be able to see there's a tangible, there's a brass ring to reach for. And Dragibane is really not a brass ring to reach for. You answer some questions, and that dictates whether or not you get experience rolls. And then you're hoping for a boon or a dragon or a demon. If you get those, you can get more rolls that will help you hopefully improve your skills and abilities. So anyway, I hope that sheds some light on GURPS for you. It's a fantastic rule set, I think. I think it deserves a lot more attention than it's getting, and I hope it piques your interest and you at least go download the primer, the the yeah, it's a demo basically. You download that demo, the primer of the game, and you get a taste for it, and then maybe it piques your interest, and you either buy the PDFs or buy a book, or you buy the Dungeon Fantasy role-playing game, which is powered by GURPS. It's amazing. It's these books just in a condensed form in a box set with a bunch of other goodies. So either way you go, I don't think you can go wrong. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was a rather quick video. It's only, we're popping a whole 26 minutes here. So I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to say, as always, like and subscribe. Thumbs up if you liked the video. Subs if you loved it. Hit me up on Patreon if you want to help support the channel, or Ko-Fi, Mr. Mean Speaks. You can buy me a cup of coffee on Ko-Fi. All the donations go back into the channel. Really helps the channel out. And I appreciate every one of you so much. And my Patreons, $5 a month. I don't plan on raising that at all. Everybody else is raising prices. I am not. I think $5 is a good bang for your buck for the videos that I produce, and everybody gets access to the videos. So by supporting me via Patreon, you're helping me to make these videos for everybody. So you're part of the success of Mr. Mean Speaks, and I appreciate you. So thank you for supporting the channel if you choose to do so, and thank you to my current subscribers. They are awesome. I can't think of anything else to say. I don't want to babble on anymore. So peace and hair grease, and as always, Mr. Mean says, remember to be nice. Take care, everybody.